A drunk driver lost control of a $100,000 truck while speeding recklessly on the road. Within seconds, the massive vehicle crashed and fell into an open sewage drain, causing shocking destruction. Fortunately, this terrifying crash did not claim any lives. Despite falling into an open sewage drain on a busy road, the driver and nearby people escaped without injuries. This accident could have ended far worse. First, the workers lifted the jack into position underneath the truck. Then the crane slowly lowered the truck onto the jack. Once the truck was safely supported by the jack, the crane became free and ready for the next step. The workers went underneath the truck to remove the leaf spring, but the dangerous part was that they did not place any safety cones or warning signs around the truck. Since this is a busy main road, passing vehicles could easily hit the work area and cause a serious accident. Even while working under the heavy truck, the workers continued the repair without proper road safety protection. Since the truck fell into the sewage drainage, the entire pressure hit the leaf spring directly. Because of that heavy impact, the nuts, bolts, and metal parts became tightly jammed and extremely hard to remove. Now the workers underneath the front side of the truck are facing a very difficult and risky dismantling process to open the damaged suspension parts. The workers are using only manual tools to open the stuck nuts and bolts. If they had an air pressure impact system, the work could become much faster and easier. But with simple hand tools, removing these tightly jammed parts is taking a lot of effort and time. Interestingly, despite the truck's huge weight, speed, and heavy impact, not a single tire burst nor did any wheel rim crack. The truck surprisingly survived the powerful hit without serious wheel damage. Now the U-bolts have bent badly because of the heavy impact. After removing the U-bolts, the workers began pushing the entire front axle using only their shoulders and hands. Even though it is extremely heavy, the difficult part is that they are moving the massive axle manually. Without any lifting machine or hydraulic support. Finally, the workers pulled the damaged leaf spring out from underneath the truck after a long and difficult struggle. The workers are comfortable working manually. They do not rely on advanced tools or machines. In a country like Pakistan, drunk driving checks are not very common because alcohol is legally restricted. As a result, this truck driver managed to drive while intoxicated without being stopped earlier. However, people on the road quickly noticed that the driver was not in his proper senses and appeared completely out of control. Witnesses immediately informed the police and contacted the owner of the damaged vehicle. After arriving at the scene, the police and the vehicle owner decided to file a serious case against the truck driver. Due to the driver's reckless condition, the accident caused major damage and could have easily resulted in a deadly tragedy on this busy road. They are replacing the broken leaf spring with a new one. Normally, the bushings are installed using a hydraulic press for proper alignment. However, these workers are hammering the bushings into place manually. This method can slightly affect the alignment of the leaf spring, but for heavy vehicles like trucks, Small imperfections usually do not matter much. The workers are wearing simple flip-flops without helmets, and they constantly move underneath the truck while working. Safety equipment is almost non-existent here, yet they continue the repair without hesitation. In many local workshops, this has become a normal part of the working culture. The focus is usually on finishing the job quickly, rather than following strict safety procedures. Now they are finally assembling the leaf spring back into the truck. Nearly 6 hours have passed, and sunset is quickly turning into night. The workers must finish the repair fast to get this massive vehicle back on the road. In many Asian countries, heavy trucks like this are often not insured because insurance costs are extremely high and road conditions are considered too risky. Poor road safety and frequent accidents make insurance companies avoid these kinds of vehicles. As a result, the entire repair cost usually has to be paid directly by the owner of the truck. Even if the accident happened because of the driver's mistake, the driver is rarely able to pay for such heavy financial losses. In most cases, the owner is left to handle all the expenses alone. Now the workers are tightening the leaf spring using only simple hand tools and the same old U-bolts. Instead of replacing them with new parts, they are reusing the original hardware after straightening and hammering it back into shape. The entire repair process is being done in a very basic way, relying mostly on manual labor and experience rather than professional equipment. Meanwhile, spectators and local video makers have gathered around the truck. Some people are even crawling underneath the vehicle just to record videos for social media, despite the dangerous situation. Neither the patrol officers nor the traffic police are stopping people from moving around the truck without safety precautions. Here, everyone is considered responsible for their own safety, and people continue working and filming very close to the heavy vehicle without much concern for the risks involved. The front axle beam was definitely misaligned, but they didn't even check it properly. The big crack was clearly visible, and the axle misalignment was obvious from the start, but they only repair it when they see a massive bend or a fully visible crack. Normal misalignment is usually ignored. They just said, "Nothing will happen, we'll see when it breaks." They also didn't use proper grease to make everything fit smoothly. Instead of fixing the parts carefully, they simply used force and hammering to push everything back into place. It was mostly because of cost saving and ignorance. They said, if force can do the job, then why waste money on grease and proper fixing? Even the vehicle owner didn't want to pay for a drum of grease, so the workers were told to just force everything into place. If fire had occurred during the accident, the situation could have become extremely dangerous. Fortunately, nothing like that happened. Otherwise, because of the fuel tank, oil lines, and electrical wiring, the fire could have spread through the whole truck very quickly. In heavy trucks, even a small spark can turn into a massive fire, especially when there is no fire extinguisher available, and emergency rescue teams arrive late. Normally, this repair could have been completed within just 2 or 3 hours. But because most of the work was done manually, with heavy force, continuous hammering, and basic tools, the process took almost 8 hours. The workers struggled to remove rusty and tightly stuck parts, push the heavy front axle by hand, and pull out the leaf spring, which required a lot of hard physical labor. Tell me in the comments, how could this accident have been avoided? In your opinion, what mistakes caused this dangerous situation? Could better maintenance, proper safety checks, or careful driving have prevented all this damage? The total cost paid by the owner of this truck for the complete restoration and maintenance was around just $200. That included heavy manual labor, repair work, and replacement of damaged parts. In countries like Pakistan, many difficult repairs are still done at a very low cost because labor is cheap, and most workshops use simple tools and manual methods. But if the same accident and restoration happened in Europe or America, the cost would be much higher because of expensive labor, strict safety rules, proper workshop equipment, and costly spare parts. Even a small truck repair in those countries can cost thousands of dollars due to professional inspection charges, crane service, taxes, and mechanical labor fees. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for more real truck restoration and heavy workshop videos.